everyone, and welcome to NCE Review. We are going to be covering Domain 1 Professional Practice and Ethics, and today we are under subcategory P, monitoring the therapeutic relationship and building trust as needed. Part of reviewing the NCE is understanding what is a therapeutic relationship, which is very different from other relationships. Um, Going back to Dr. Carl Rogers and person centered therapy, he talks about the core conditions of congruence or genuineness, unconditional positive regard. Um, when we talk about the therapeutic relationship, I think of what those core conditions look like and how those core conditions affect the relationship. And we know from research that 50% of mental health outcomes are with relationships. That's why it's so important and emphasized to build those appropriate therapeutic relationships so that client does feel heard, they feel understood, and the climate is one that is appropriate for sharing and building those connections as well as knowing appropriate boundaries and modeling that for the client. Um, uh, to go along with that is the notion of building trust. Trust is something that clients have a great deal of hesitation because many times clients are coming into the therapeutic relationships with a high sense of distrust, highest distrust in the system. Um, Maybe the client is coming from a relationship that has failed, so they're coming with a high degree of distrust. So part of the therapeutic alliance or the therapeutic relationship is establishing those core conditions for healing. Dr. Carl Rogers mentioned that um, humans naturally heal by themselves. They just need a place for healing to happen. I certainly agree with Carl Rogers and his teachings. And I've seen it at the professional level, but especially for the NCE, understanding what those core conditions look like, understanding the appropriateness of boundaries, modeling appropriate relationships, modeling professionalism, modeling trust, and meeting the client where they are all factors that are going to make or break that relationship. As mentioned earlier, 50% of counseling outcomes is can the client trust you? Um, and I can share with you from experience that um, relationships are that really didn't um, go into some of the working stages or some of the therapeutic stages. It really was because the trust wasn't there. So if the trust isn't there, then how can I go into deeper processing? I can't, right? So I just stay at the surface level where I just kind of tell you what you want to hear without really creating those vulnerable moments. So again, for the NCE, please be mindful of what appropriate therapeutic relationship looks like, how to build trust. Keep Dr. Rogers in mind, keep those core conditions um, in mind when you are thinking about that, and really beyond the NCE. I think that's something important for any clinician.